to another episode of the Sean Farrell podcast. I am Sean Farrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Let's not waste no more time. Let's get right to it. So I want to circle back around to Madison Holleran, the young lady who ended her life by suicide. Okay, and I want to pick it back up towards the end. I was reading the book yesterday, and I want to pick it back up towards the end of the book. Okay, and so she returned to her pen. So she returned to pen for the second semester. Okay. And just before she went back to pen, she had asked her family for a photo of her as a little kid. Okay. She asked her family for a photo as a little kid. It was her holding a tennis racket as a kid, and he was smiling. Okay. And so when she returned to pen, what she did was she actually erased her history, her internet history on her MacBook. Okay. She erased her history on her MacBook, and she was preparing what had been simmering on the back burner. Okay. So what was on the back burner was coming to the front. Okay. And so a day or two later, she had bought gifts for her family. Okay. She had bought gifts for her family, and she had ran in to the Lehigh soccer women's coach, who was in Philly. Okay. He was in Philly, and he noticed her, and he was on the phone with his wife. And while he was on the phone with his wife, he noticed Madison walking with a bag of gifts in her hand. So they sat down and talked. They sat down and talked. They chatted it up a little bit. Madison was originally going to go to Lehigh to play soccer. But she at the last second turned them down, and instead made the decision to go to Penn for track. Okay. So they had a talk, and apparently one point when they had a talk, her head was like down. And so after they talked, she walked into a parking garage. Okay. She walked into a parking garage, but before she did all that, she actually made her bed, and she never made her bed. Okay. She made her bed in her dorm room. Okay. And she wrote a note. Not going to get into what she wrote. Okay. Not going to get into that. And then she placed a second note in the bag of gifts that she had for her family. Okay. And so the tennis racket picture that she had of herself as a kid. Okay. She placed that inside of a book called Reconstructing Amelia. Okay. Where it was thought that where a devastated mother tries to put together the pieces of her daughter's death by suicide. But the book actually reveals that she was pushed. No, Amelia was pushed. Okay. And so one of her friends, her friends, who played basketball at another school, she remarked saying, that's scary. And she says, she goes on to say that whenever she's at a amusement park or she's on a roller coaster or something like that, she thinks about Madison, and she thinks about how could she do this. But the women's Lehigh soccer coach went to I believe they went to lunch or dinner or something like that. And when they came out, there were like police cars. There were police cars. They noticed that police cars were in a certain area. Of where the parking garage was at. Okay. And so Madison had texted friends, family members, but at one point she stopped responding, and her family members, her dad, her mom, were checking on her several times a day, wanting to know if she had found a counselor or whatnot. And so her friends couldn't get in contact with her. Her roommate couldn't get in contact with her. And so the Penn women's track coach contacted Madison's mom late in the night. And something had potentially happened to Madison. Then word began to get back to her family members, her dad, her best friend, her roommate, and it was later confirmed that she had ended her life by suicide. And yeah, it was a sad time. It was a very sad time. Her friends were inconsolable. Her family definitely inconsolable. Her sisters, her brother, and it goes back to what I talked about, the opening chapter of the book, Shattered. Okay. Shattered. Okay. And so, where Madison had cracked her iPhone screen. Okay. Then at the end of the book, by Kate Fagan, there was another chapter, Shattered 2. Okay. Where her friends were just so broken up. Okay. Were just so broken up over what had happened. And that's where the Madison Holleran Foundation was found. I follow them on Facebook, and the foundation, they work with AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. They work with AFSP as well. And not only do they have the Madison Holleran Foundation, but I believe it was the state of New Jersey, okay, who founded the Madison Holleran Act, where college students have free access to mental health services, okay? So, yeah, that's how dark it can get. That's how dark it gets. That's how dark it gets for people who struggle every day with mental health issues, okay? It just gets that dark. And I talked to you the other day about the mental grim reaper, okay? Where mentally the grim reaper enters, okay? And yeah, I guess it's sort of like a mental grim reaper had entered her head, and mentally, and yeah, but that's how dark it gets. That's how dark it gets. It can get that dark for people mentally. Okay. It gets that dark. And this is why I talk about 988. Okay. This is why I talk about 988. Listen, your life is worth a phone call, okay? You are loved, you are enough. You are always enough. Okay. Dial 988. Okay. Dial 988, and there's always hope. There's always hope. It's just that unfortunately for Madison, I guess she thought there was no hope for her. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's all for the Sean Ferrer podcast. I am out of here. God bless you all. See you all on the next one. I'm out.